Hi everyone, thank you for coming back to my channel. It's your girl Lala here from Lala Crochet Boutique, and today we're gonna crochet the highly requested No Sue Smiling Poo emoji plushie. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and make sure to leave a nice comment on this video because why not? Let's start crocheting! We're gonna grab our brown yarn. I'm using a lighter color brown here because I want you guys to see the stitches better, but obviously it's better to make it with a darker shade. I'm going to start by making a magic ring carefully because this chenille yarn is pretty challenging. I'm going to close the magic ring a little bit and then start to single crochet 4 into the magic ring. I'm going to close the magic ring, pull the handle, and we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet of the run and chain 1. Pull the left loop into the right one and chain 1. And this is the way we're going to close every round for this entire project. Next, we're going to single crochet 1 into the same stitch, move to the next stitch and make an increase. 2 stitches in 1 stitch, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. Of course, it's very recommended to use a stitch marker for the first single crochet so it won't lose count. And we're going to repeat this one more time. Move to the next stitch and work a single crochet. Move to the next stitch and make an increase. Now we have 6 stitches and we're going to join the round with a slip stitch and chain 1. So take out your stitch marker, slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round and chain 1. For round 3, we're going to increase 6 times to get 12 single crochets. I'm gonna increase in the same stitch, the first stitch, and increase again in every stitch. Great, 12 stitches, and then slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round and chain 1. For round 4, we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna make 6 decreases, but it's going to be a slip stitch decrease. How do we do that? We're gonna go with our hook into the stitch and then do the same for the next stitch. So we have 3 loops on our hook. I'm gonna grab the yarn into the 3 of them. This is our first slip stitch decrease. I'm gonna mark the first stitch with a stitch marker. Moving on to the next stitch, we're gonna insert our hook again, insert our hook into the next stitch also, again only front loops. Grab our yarn and pull it into the 3 loops. Doing that again. 1, 2, slip stitch, decrease. 1, 2, into the 3 loops. Now we have 6 stitches in the round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can push the strand from the magic ring into our work so it won't bother us. Take out the stitch marker and slip stitch into the first decrease of the round. And of course, chain 1. This was our 4th round. Moving on to round 5, we're going to make 6 increases, meaning 2 single crochet in each stitch. And slip stitch into the first single crochet and chain 1. Moving on to our next round, the 6th round. Again, we're gonna just single crochet 2 in each stitch. This will bring us up from 12 stitches to 24. When we're done and we have 24 stitches, 12 increases, I'm gonna slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round and chain 1. We're gonna again work 12 slip stitch decreases. So insert your hook into the first stitch and into the next stitch after it. Grab the yarn into the 3 loops. Whoop. First one can be a little challenging. The next ones will be easier. 1, 2, into the loop. 1, 2, yarn over or under into the 3 loops. Keep repeating this until you meet the end of the round. When we reach the end of the round, I'm going to take out the stitch marker if you used one, and of course slip stitch into the first stitch of the round and chain 1. At this point we can start filling in our work. Just put the stitch marker back, take some polyfill or scrap yarn and fill it in gently, not too much. Moving on to our 8th round, I'm going to take out the stitch marker and work 12 increases. 2 single crochets in each stitch. I'm going to repeat that until we have again 24 stitches in the round. When we finished making our 12 increases, I'm going to take out the stitch marker and slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round and chain 1. Moving on to our 9th round, we're going to go up from 24 stitches to 36, and we're going to do that by making 1 single crochet followed by an increase for 12 times. So single crochet 1 into the first stitch, move to the next stitch and work an increase. I'm going to do that again, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, moving on to the next stitch and work an increase. I'm going to repeat that until the end of the round when we have 36 stitches. 1 last increase and we're gonna join the round with a slip stitch and chain 1 into the first stitch. Next, for round 10, we're simply gonna single crochet around for 36 stitches. Don't forget to single crochet into the first stitch. Can be hiding. Simply work one single crochet into each stitch until you reach the end of the round, and then we'll meet again. Let's work our last single crochet. Now we're in the end of the round. I'm gonna slip stitch and chain one into the first single crochet of the round. Next, for round 11, we're gonna single crochet 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then work a decrease. Not a slip stitch decrease, a regular decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I lied. It's not a regular decrease, it's an invisible decrease. We're gonna insert our hook into the front loop, again into the next stitch. When we have 3 loops on our hook, we're gonna yarn over or under the 2 loops and then yarn over into the remaining 2 loops. Gonna do that again. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we're gonna invisible decrease again. Gonna do that for 6 times until we reach the end of the round, and then I'll meet you back again. Gonna work my last decrease. Oop. And then slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round as usual, and chain 1 to close the round. This is our proof up until now. Now we have 30 stitches. We want to get down to 24. We're going to do that by single crocheting 3, 1, 2, 3, and then work a decrease. I'm going to do that for 6 times till we have 24 stitches. One, 2, and 3, and decrease. So just keep repeating that until you reach the end of the round. We're gonna work our last decrease for round 12. Now we're gonna slip stitch into the back loop of the first single crochet only, like this. Make a slip stitch and chain 1, and we're gonna work a slip stitch decrease. Insert our hook into the first front loop, insert our hook into the next front loop, yarn over into all 3 loops. Next, we're gonna work 2 slip stitches, just simple slip stitches. 1, 2, and work another slip stitch decrease into the front loop, into the next front loop. When we have 3 loops on our hook, we're gonna yarn over into the 3 of them. We're gonna repeat that, 2 slip stitches and 1 slip stitch decrease for 4 more times, 5 times in total. 1 slip stitch, second slip stitch, and a slip stitch decrease. I'm gonna do that until we have 2 stitches remaining. When we've completed this pattern for 5 times, we're supposed to have 2 stitches remaining. We're gonna slip stitch into each one of them. 1 and 2. Once we make sure we have 18 stitches, we're gonna slip stitch into the first stitch and chain 1. For round 14, we're gonna work 18 increases, 1 increase in each stitch, meaning 2 single crochets in each stitch of the previous round, till we have 36 stitches. Can be a little challenging because the slip stitches are tight, but don't give up, we're gonna have this poo eventually. Keep working an increase in each stitch, and I'll meet you at the end of the round. Let's work our last increases. And make sure we have 36 stitches. And we're gonna slip stitch into the first stitch and chain 1. For round 15, we're gonna single crochet 2. And then work an increase. We're gonna do that for 12 times. These 3, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and an increase. Work our last increase, and now we have 48 stitches. Don't worry if it gets a little wavy, it's okay. We're gonna slip stitch and chain 1 to close the round. And what we're gonna do next for round 16, 17, and 18 is simply single crochet around 84 stitches for each round. So let's do that, and I'll meet you at the end of round 18. Now I'm at the end of round 18, moving on to round 19. Gonna single crochet 6, and then work a decrease. We're gonna do that for 6 times until we reach the end of the round, and this will bring us down to 42 stitches. Once we finish this round and we have 42 stitches, we can slip stitch into the first single crochet, chain 1, and now we're gonna work our 20th round. I'm gonna start by making 5 single crochets, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then work an invisible decrease. Pretty much same as the previous round, only with 5 single crochets instead of 6. Now I've lost count because I spoke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then followed by an increase and decrease, sorry. I'm going to keep doing that for 6 times in total till we reach the end of the round, and we'll have 36 stitches in the round. Gonna work our last decrease. Slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round and chain 1. Next we're gonna single crochet 4, and then work a decrease. We're going to repeat that for 5 more times, 6 times in total, until we have 30 stitches at the end of the round. Let's repeat that until we meet the end of the round, and then I'll meet you back again. Before we close our round, we're going to slip stitch into the back loop only. Insert the hook into the back loop, grab your yarn into the loop and chain 1. And from now on, for this entire round, we're going to work in the back loops only. So work 3 single crochets in the back loops only. Three. And then we're going to work a decrease, but only in the back loops. So same as the invisible decrease, only in the back loops. And just repeat that. Whoops. Just keep repeating that until we reach the end of the round, and then we'll have 24 stitches. We're going to work our last decrease, the last 2 stitches, and then simply slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round as usual and chain 1. Next, take out your hook and place a stitch marker. We're going to make the face and fill up the poo. Here's a sentence I never thought I'd say. Next, we're going to spot the 17th and 18th row. If this was 22, this 21, 20, 19, 18, and 17. So we're going to place our safety eyes here, about 7-8 stitches apart. Take your 14mm safety eye and place it between the 17th and 18th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7, that's enough. I'm going to close our safety eyes. Grab your darning needle, insert the yarn, insert the darning needle between the eyes, to create a straight line. If you want your poo to be a little dissatisfied, you can leave it like here, like this. Once you're happy with your smile, you can simply take the 2 strands of yarn and tie them together lightly, not too much. We don't want to pull our smile. We worked really hard on it. And then we can simply put it inside the body. I'm gonna take a little bit of pink yarn and do the same. Here I'm using a double yarn, so the blush will be a little more prominent. Oh, I just love sewing on blush so much. Look at how cute it is. Insert the hook from this side to this side. We're almost done, guys. Adjust it a little bit. Oh. Tie the strands together to make it safe, to make it secure. Just tie the 2 strands together, again lightly. Do the same for this side. Push the strands into the body. And now we can move on to fill in the lower tier. When we're done, we can simply take out the stitch marker, insert back our hook, and now we're going to work 12 decreases. Just regular decreases, not slip stitching, until we have 12 stitches in the round. We can place a stitch marker the first stitch, because sometimes it's harder to recognize the first one after we work a decrease round. Last decrease, and we're going to slip stitch into the first decrease, and again chain 1. Moving on to our last round of this project, we're gonna decrease 6 times. Again, just decrease around to get 6 stitches at the end of the round. Mark your first stitch. One last decrease. We're going to slip stitch into the first decrease of the round one last time. And chain 1. And we're almost done. I'm going to take out the hook a little bit. We're gonna leave a long tail. Cut the yarn, insert back our hook, and pull the yarn to fasten off. Make it tight. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna close this little gap here. I don't count it as sewing, just saying. So the way I like to do it is simply see what stitch is right in front of me. If the yarn is here, this stitch right here, I'm gonna go into the front loop. It's gonna close it automatically. I'm gonna do it on the counters. We're gonna do it on the stitch that's like 90 degrees to the previous stitch, and do the same for the stitch next to it. And that's it. We simply made a cross, and now our gap is closed. What we're gonna do next is an option. You don't have to do it, but I think it's really cute. We're gonna pass the darning needle all the way to the top of the poo, the tip of the poo. It's gonna take a few times to pass it because our darning needle is small. Just work your way all the way to the top. We're gonna pass the needle from this side of the tip. Insert it again through all of the tip. And insert it anywhere in that direction. Now we have a little tip curved, which I think is really cute. And then we can just pass the remaining tail anywhere inside the body. just to make it secure. And now you have your smiling pile of poo plushie to give away to your best friend. Thank you for joining me crocheting this plushie, and I hope it made you smile. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and of course, for more cool crochet content, follow me on social media. See you next Monday!